my loves, and welcome to this week's episode of the Alchemy Lounge Podcast. And today we are joined by a very special guest, the wonderful Shira Evet, who joined me and my members inside of the Academy for a gorgeous evening and some beautiful discussions. Now, the fun that happened during this call was blamed on Mercury retrograde, poor little Mercury. However, poor Shira couldn't actually hear any of our audio. So, what we have done for the purpose of the podcast is we have basically made it a beautiful little monologue of the wonderful Shira. So, you can still get her nuggets and her wisdom and all the advice from this conversation. But while we were on the call in our Google Meet room, we were just utilizing the chat box so we could actually converse with Shira. So, there may be some moments that come across a little bit strange or unusual compared to what you're perhaps used to with the podcast. But we still wanted to go ahead. We still wanted to record. We still wanted to get this out there for you. So I hope that you enjoy this episode as much as we did. And I look forward to hearing your comments and your thoughts afterwards. So enjoy.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me here. I really was excited for it to run smoothly, but why would that be the case? So to start off telling you about myself, I apparently do nothing the easy way, this included. And that is sort of the basis on how I live my life came to be. So I am an identity mentor. Previously to that, I was in the fitness and nutrition business for over 20 years, and I decided I need a change, and I gravitated in towards the coaching industry. And as soon as that happened, I decided to get cancer. So after I recovered from cancer the first time and started rebuilding my business, I apparently thought once wasn't enough and got cancer again. And through that experience, I have just really doubled down on who I am, how I live, and what I'm available for and what I am not fucking available for. Honestly, I think every bit of my self-concept survived the journey. And that is why, and I hate the word journey. I'm just going to say for me, like journey is such, Candace knows this. We have a list of words that I just give me the ick, and journey is one of them. I really feel like it's sort of limp dick energy. Anything I do is from the perspective of a quest. Like I am constantly seeking something. I am constantly on the offensive of my life and no longer on the defensive. And it is because I double down on who I am and what's important to me and what I know that I was able to navigate it the way that I did. The one thing I did alter more so the second time because I was able to than the first time. And when I say I was able to, it's because I had different people in my world, Candace being one of the main ones that I just didn't have the first time. So I really was able to allow myself to be helped, or more so because she's in Canada and I am on the East Coast of the US, but more so to be held and fully seen. Whereas before I didn't have the space to do that. So in being even more self-aware the second time, which for me is a massive statement because I know myself at a obnoxious level. It's offensive sometimes, but because of that, I was able to really know exactly not only what I needed, what I didn't need, but also where to get it from and to ask for it and allow it to be, rather than having to do it all and hold it all myself.
I love that. Thank you, my love. Candice has made an excellent point that I'm going to actually talk just for podcast purposes. So for anyone listening to this, we are having some great fun on Mercury retrograde season at the moment, and technology is just misbehaving for our wonderful guest. So I am typing the questions to Shira so she can answer them, which is hilarious. So just for listeners who may be thinking, okay, hang on, what is she answering? So my last question to Shira was what part of her self-concept didn't survive that particular journey or quest, which I adore that reframe. So my next question is for those women who find it difficult to be held or be seen, because I know a lot of us struggle with that, especially with struggling how to like ask for help. How are you able to allow that?
It's fucking incredibly hard to be held or seen. And I think, and this is what I really sort of came to find. It's really fucking hard for us to be held and seen because most of us don't have people in our lives that can fucking see us or hold us. And that's why it's hard, because we're really trying to, it's like putting water in a sieve. And, you know, it's like asking Stevie Wonder to tell you what color shirt you have on. Like, it cannot happen. Yet we keep trying. And that's where the difficulty and the struggle comes in, because we're not going to the right places to be held or to be seen. And we think we have to do it alone, when the reality is we just need to find our people that can do that. And not only find our people to do that, but to tell the rest of the people that can't, like, especially in terms of when I had cancer, you know, my mom and my sister are close by. Neither one of them, and they want to help, they want to be there. Neither one of them are capable of helping me in that regard, of doing what I need done. And I told them, I call the first cancer the OG. So, because who doesn't title their fucking cancers? So I really told them, like, thanks. Please don't call me. Please don't check on me. Please don't ask me what you can do. I will let you know what I need. Like, love you, but not all jobs are for all people. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got their specialties. And it's like, you have to know what your people are capable of and what their capacity is, and only use them to the degree that you can use them. Like, you're not wearing your skinny jeans to a buffet. It's the same thing. You have to really utilize your people, and doing this requires you to be so self-aware and incredibly selfish with knowing what you need and asking for it. Like, I knew the second time, which I call the sequel, because I like it, that Candace had it. I could say whatever I was going to say, and she wasn't going to absorb it. She wasn't going to, like, take it on as her own. She wasn't going to hyperventilate. She wasn't going to talk me out of it or try to flip it over and see the bright side. I fucking hate the bright side. I don't want to be shown the bright side. I know there'll be a bright side. That's not how I feel right now. And I want how I feel always, not just in cancer. I mean, I could have a ugly nail polish and I want to be held just the same. That I am allowed to feel exactly how I'm feeling in that moment, regardless of if anybody else thinks it's stupid. Like, claim how you feel, even if it's the most insignificant, ridiculous thing. You're allowed to feel exactly how you feel, no matter fucking what. period. And anybody that's going to talk you out of it or try to flip it, they're a no.
I love that. And I really like the not all jobs are for all people. I think that's a fantastic way of looking at these things. So I would love to know, how did you find those who were capable, those people that were your people? And have you found that your circle changes as you change and you evolve?
Yeah, like really not all jobs are for all people, like at all. But and you have to be okay with that. You have to know that some of the people in your life, they're just not capable of doing all the things, and don't expect them to be able to. So that's step one. And how did I find my people? I don't fucking know. Like they came when it was time for them to come. Like when I was recovering the first time, I knew I needed help with my business. Obviously, to everybody on this call, I am a tech genius, but I was busy doing other things. So I figured I could probably find somebody that would be almost at my level. And I asked, a woman that I had met online, that we actually met in person and became friends. I asked her, I said, who's your OBM? Like, who do you have? And it turned out it was Candace. And from minute one on call one, I just knew. And I'd been calling in a team and people for years. I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to find the right person? I'm very particular. I don't like certain words. A lot of things give me the ick. I think very fast. I move very strange. And I need somebody that gets it without flinching. And the second we had our call, so I'd been sort of like calling in that energy. I've been calling in those people, and from second one, there she is. And people that I was close to after the OG, I started phasing out when the sequel came, because they were fine and there's nothing wrong with them, but I knew the type of energy I had to be in, and how I had to be, and who I had to be, and what I had to do for the sequel. And there was no room for them. I was not going to hold one person's energy. I was not going to put myself in a position where anybody I was around felt like it was like soul sucking. Those people that are like, oh, well, that's life, or it could always be worse. Motherfucker, in my case, at that moment, it could not have been worse. I say that, and of course, little things got worse. And along the way, this goes back to knowing exactly what I need. I'd have people say, well, are you talking to somebody? And my response was always, about what? Like, about what? They're like, well, about what you're going through. Because the second time I was diagnosed at stage 4. It had spread to my skin, and they told me I had single-digit year life expectancy. I had just turned, I don't know, I was 50, I was 52. I was originally diagnosed, I had just turned 50, I was 52. And they told me this, and I was like, well, yeah, that's not going to work for me. I'm not doing it like this. They told me I would probably never clear it. I would be on chemo for life, single-digit year life expectancy. That's enough to rock anybody's world. I'm apparently fucking delusional. And I was like, that's not going to work for me. Not only am I not going to be on chemo for life, I'm not even doing all the ones you want me to do again. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to clear it by my birthday. And because I'm a Capricorn, I'm going to get better out of spite, because I'm so pissed at you guys for dropping the ball. And that's exactly what I did. And when people were asking me who was I talking to, I was like, about what? I don't have anything to say. I know what I need to do, but I also knew I needed somebody that can hold a space and help me clear and move the energies, because I'm someone, I don't know if any of you are human design people, but I am a 4/6 manifesting generator. I have an open head space, and I take in everything all the time. Like a fork can give me a visceral reaction. And I knew I needed somebody to help me move the energy. And one of the people I found, I'd been in groups with her online with other programs, and I've taken some of her programs, but is a woman named Kylie D. Fay. If you guys aren't familiar with her, she is extraordinary. She is extraordinary. And we used to meet, and that is what I would do, where other people would go to a therapist. I moved energy. And I would have to say that Candace and Kylie were two of the, maybe the only two people that really got in with the nitty gritty. And I was able to put it down. And sorry, I'm trying to read this whole question. I'm not a scroller and a talker. There's only certain things I can multitask, and none of this is it. So they were the two places that I could put it down, exhale, pick it back up, and keep going. Okay. As a superintendent, was focused on their career, not married, no kids. How would you advise them of distrusting other repeatedly? Okay, you're speaking my language except for the corporate thing. And I am not married either, and I don't have kids. I'm going to say by choice, but not by choice. It's not what I wanted for myself. And I also had a lot of issue trusting people. And the reason is, and I'm sure, if you're in corporate and all these things, the standards you have for yourself are so obnoxiously high, and you expect everybody else can live and meet those standards. And the bottom line is they cannot. And a lot of the reasons I found I didn't trust people, it's because I was asking them to have a capacity that they would never be capable of having. So I couldn't trust them, but I was asking the wrong people for like I was asking the wrong people to come through. So I sort of reframed the whole thing for myself. Instead of like saying I can't trust these people, you have to turn it on yourself, and you have to say I need to trust myself enough to know where to go for this, where not to go for this, where to find the answers, and to not settle until I find them. Like, one of the things that I hold in the highest regard about myself, like, I don't care what you say about me. I don't care who says anything about me. You insult my character or my integrity, like, you're done. Like Godfather style, done. There's no coming back from that, because my integrity and my character is so much. I don't even have the word for it. It's everything. And most people, and I find most women especially, that are driven and successful and single and have to do everything, have that level of standard and integrity and character, and you expect that other people are going to have it, and they just don't. So they're not necessarily purposely disappointing you. They're just dis-fucking-pointing people. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I say it like this. It's like, we all spend, there's been periods of time, we all spend twice as much money trying to get like the good knockoff because we think the thing we actually want, like, let's say, you know, you want the Louboutins. You're like, oh, do I really want to spend that on a pair of shoes? Maybe you go through well, it's crazy, it's this, but you want it. So you spend 3 times as much money trying to get what's close instead of just getting the fucking thing you want. We do that with people too. We try to say, well, they can this, they can this, they can that. Then the answer is they fucking can't. They can't. Like, you know, your little knockoffs with the hot pink bottoms, they're not going to be the Louboutins, and they're not going to make you feel the way those shoes would make you feel. And that's really, I think, what we need to accept, acknowledge, and tap in for ourselves, that our fucking desires are high. They are not realistic. They are not practical. They are not of the world that makes sense. And the best part is they don't fucking have to be, and you don't have to apologize for it. Like, I am not sorry. I like what I like. I want what I want. I like it the way I like it. I want it the way I want it. The end. I don't feel bad about it. Why should I? Why should I? Like, why should I feel bad because someone else has an opinion about my life? That's on them to sort out for themselves. Like, they can work amongst themselves on that, but that is certainly not my problem. Because when you get the thing you want and you're living the way you want, all those people that told you that you were not practical or not logical, or you're whatever the word they decide to use, they're all upset you have the thing and want to know how you got it. So that's sort of the thought process that I live by. It's, I mean, fuck them.
I love that. And it's so very
true. And if you say it like with a smile, and you are eloquent about it, you can really easily tell people to fuck off, walk away, smile, and they don't even know you said it. You just made it, you know, it becomes an art form. They realize it later, but you're already on to the next thing.
So very true. I'm just going to paste this question back in as well. So your standards are obviously incredibly admirable, and I know a lot of people would love to have that level of like self-awareness and those level of standards. Were you always able to be this honest and put yourself first? And did you always have that level of self-trust, or did something kickstart it for you?
Good. Okay. Thank you. And I have always been that self-aware. I don't know why. From the time I was little, I have always known myself. And I think a lot of the friction growing up was because I was being taught certain things, whether it be in school or religion or whatever, and it just didn't suit me. And there was always this internal struggle. And I didn't realize, you know, when you're a kid, you don't realize it's that what's around you isn't matching who you are. You just, something feels weird. And I've always been able to be honest with myself, but I did not always put myself first at all. And a lot of that reason is because I felt like, because I was self-aware, because I trusted myself, because I was honest with me, because I was the strong one, it was going to be my job to save those that weren't. You know, we go into that savior complex. Like, well, I'm the strong one. I can take it. I can fix it. I can show them there's someone out there. There's a better way. There's, you know, like, and everywhere you walk, there's like glitter, and everybody's like, oh, thank you for the, no. And while you're doing this, you're like, well, I can hold it. I'm the strong one. They're going to have the breakdown. They're going to this, and it chips away at you. And you end up holding things that aren't even fucking yours. And there was one day that I had gotten out of a really shit relationship, and I was washing my face and my house was a mess, and I just looked, I was like, God, like, I wish I had a fucking me for me. Like, because I would swoop in and clean everybody else's house or help everybody else. And then when I needed help, I couldn't do it myself. There wasn't anybody for me to call on. And I was like, God, like, I just wish I had a me for me. And it was like, bitch, you fucking have the original, and like you're handing her out like it's Halloween candy. Like, keep that shit for yourself. Like, turn all of that on yourself. And that's when I really stopped trying to save. I stopped overgiving, and I stopped helping people at my own expense. I stopped helping people that were going to drain me. When I help the right people, or when I do for the right people, it's my cup overflows. Like, it energizes me. When it's the wrong person, it is such an energy suck, and it's immediate no. Like, it's an immediate no in my body. But along the way I learned, okay, now I have the me for me, but I can't necessarily do things for myself the way I did them for other people. So where am I falling short for me? Like, when I have to, and my house is one of them. It is right now I'm in the middle of a renovation, and that's another story, and it is a disaster. I cannot just say I'm going to clean off this counter and have it clean, even though it would take me 20-30 minutes. I get caught up. It's like a cat with a laser pointer. I'm like, ooh, cool, and I start playing with whatever. Next thing you know, you're wearing 12 shades of lipstick, a headband, and like a feather boa, and you've done nothing, but you look great. You're having a good time. Like, you're singing, but nothing's getting done. If I have company in the house or help, I get it all done. So I know this is what I need to accomplish this task. And I don't feel bad that I need that. I don't feel lazy or pathetic, or when people are like, well, why can't you just clean it up? Because I fucking can't. That's why. Because I fucking can't. And I accept every bit of what I come with. Like, I am not gonna, if there's things that I'm like, all right, I'm not doing what I need to be doing and I can do this better. Of course, you get it together and do what you need to do. But in the other cases, and you know what they are for yourself, stop beating yourself up about it and be like, all right, that's just how it is. And figure out what is going to make that thing simpler for you, instead of like drowning in it. Fucking throw yourself a life raft. And if that means hiring something or calling your best friend to come sit and listen to you, or to just come sit with you because company all of a sudden makes you into like organizer extraordinaire, do that. Who fucking cares what your method is? Like, honor your process. Mine is messy and it's nuts, and I wouldn't change a fucking thing about it, because it always gets me exactly where I need to go.
Exactly. And you make it your own, which is gorgeous. On that note, where do you find that we lie to ourselves the most?
Yes. I'm just going to say yes to that question. We do. And I honestly don't feel like we can separate any of those things. And especially, women entrepreneurs, women that run their own businesses, or no matter what we do, like, we are what we do. We, even if you're someone that sits at a desk and does computer, you're still there. Like, you're not sending your representative to work. So, the fact that you woke up bloated, worried about money, like not liking your outfit, you had shitty sex or no sex, all of that is sitting at your desk. All of that is standing in your closet dressing yourself. all of that is deciding whether or not you're going to splurge on the shoes or not. So I don't really dissect myself as a person. You know, I am all of me everywhere I go. And I find, especially for women, like men are extraordinary at this. They can compartmentalize. When women start to compartmentalize, they start to disconnect from themselves and start neglecting certain pieces, and we start to get really comfortable in certain compartments, and then the other ones are building up, getting fuller, getting dusty, and that's where like the problem explodes. That's what happens, like when we like have fucking had it or pulling our hair out and it blows up. It's because we've separated ourselves. And I think when we do that, it's a massive disservice to our person and our well-being.
Absolutely. I completely like relate to that as well. Just tuning into like the work that you do with your clients, is there something that your clients hate hearing from you, but they love it at the same time because it's the thing that actually sets them free?
I mean, one of the things so we joke a lot, but it's very true. I am fucking not trauma informed. So if you don't want the truth, don't ask me. And I say this with all the love in the world, because I am always going to be very, very honest. And this is one of the things, no filter. This is one of the things that, exactly why they hire us. But this is one of the things that goes back to when I was in a personal trainer and nutrition consultant. You would tell people, you know, this is the meal plan, this is what we have to do, and then they would come all excited. Oh, well, yeah, but I eat healthy. Okay, well, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Spell it out for me. Like I do this, I do this, I do this. Very proud of themselves. And I would just look at them and I would say, all right, so how's that working out for you? It's not? Okay. Like, we going to do something about it? Oh, we are. Okay. You ready? All right. Now we can get to work, because, you know, until you're ready to let go of everything you think you're doing well, while simultaneously knowing you're not getting the results you want, we can't move forward. If you're gonna keep telling me that, you know, whatever it is that your chia seed frappa fucka whatever is like your life source, and you're not happy that your clothes aren't fitting, I can't help you, and I'm not going to pretend to try. Like, you have to be, and they have to be ready. And one of the things with my clients, and one of the greatest compliments I ever got from somebody I was working with, we were in the middle of like a call, and they sort of laughed, and I was like, what are you laughing at? They're like, you know, I'm on to you. I was like, what do you mean? You know, I can play dumb. What do you mean? You never tell me what to do, but you always ask me the questions that make me see it for myself. Huh. It's funny how that happens. What coincidence, right? Because people tell you shit all the time. If you don't see it, and you're not telling yourself it, you're just being like, well, I'm not going to listen to that person. But if you're the person that you're not listening to, that's another thing to reconcile.
So true. Just put boom. So I have found, well, food in our bodies, but also relationships is a huge place where we tend to outsource our power. So I'd love to know what you would say to someone who's in that place, and why are we not listening to ourselves?
This is a good one. I actually had a fucking realization on Sunday, believe it or not. Food is something that I battled my entire life. And I had this, like, Sunday was the day of like realizations. I was telling someone today, I still feel like realization hangover, and I blame the planets. Because obviously everything is their fault.
Yes.
But what really hit home for me, what really hit home for me is, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. I wrote a post on it. So go roll the videotape, if you will. But what it is we're the trustworthy ones, okay? But we haven't learned to trust ourselves the way other people trust us. And all we want, and this goes back to when we're disappointed by other people, all we want to know is that someone's going to fight for us, and that somebody is coming for us no matter what. So we don't have to hold it all. And on a hard day. And because we don't have that, what we do is we create the chaos, we create the problem, and then we call in food as the hero to save us, whether it be comfort, whether it be, girl dinner, or, the food group of a breakup is fudge, apparently, or a quart of ice cream. Like, and we assign this, like, oh, I'm so devastated. The man of my dreams left me. Obviously, I am going to go get a thing of ice cream, a bottle of wine, and instead of using a spoon, I'm going to eat it with cookies, because that's going to make us feel better. So because we don't feel like we have the person coming to save us, we make food the hero in crisis. And it's, woman, we're the ones that's trustworthy. We're the ones that are going to get us through this. And we're the ones that need to learn to trust ourselves the way our families can, our best friend can, the stranger in the grocery store who's being done wrong can. And until you know that you can do that for yourself, you're going to keep calling in, reinforcements in the form of a crunchy snack, so you can keep repeating this and feel saved. But in that cycle, I'm everywhere. But in that cycle, you're also the one that's disappointing yourself. So you're reinforcing that belief that people disappoint you. Well, yeah, starting with yourself. So fucking stop. Instead of like saying this is the people have a soundtrack of their life, you have a menu of your life. And we give these foods like this power. Well, this one is for this one is for this, instead of understanding they're there all the time. I don't have to be in crisis to eat ice cream. I don't have to be celebrating to have a glass of champagne. I don't have to be sad to eat soup. Like, your emotions are not food groups. And the sooner you realize you can have any food you like, anytime you want, it enables you to make clear, conscious choices. Like, do I want this now? And am I going to feel okay? Like, I don't eat for how I feel in the moment. I eat for how I want to feel in all the moments. And if whatever I'm like looking at is going to be great in the moment and I'm going to be upset about it, or it's going to not make me feel good, then it's a no. And on another occasion, it'll be a yes. But in this moment, it's a and really, really simplify it. And that way it takes you take your power back. Like, you know, the cupcake's not talking to you. Like, that thing needs to shut up, because it talks loud. Like, I know you've all been laying in bed and heard something in your refrigerator calling you, and you had to fucking get up like it was a hostage. It's not. It's going to be there every day, and it's going to be there anytime you want it. And this was another realization, which is why I'm still fucking hungover. When it comes to food, it's really a lack mindset that's the driving force of overeating, because you see a smaller portion or you limit yourself because that's going to serve you in the moment. And you think, well, fuck that, I'm being restricted or being punished, without realizing you're only going to eat a little bit now. And if you want a little bit more later and a little bit more tomorrow and the next day, it's all there. So switching from the lack to the abundance, you're not eating in abundance, you're eating with abundance, knowing that that thing is always going to be there for you whenever you want. It's not I'm going to fucking eat a buffet worth of food right now because this is the last time I'm ever going to do it, so I might as well go big or go home. You don't have to do that. You don't have to force it in. Like, you don't have to finish the burger. Like, I'll never forget, in college, one of my best friends left half a burger and fries. I'm like, how do you have leftover fries? And the way she did it was because she was going to have fries the next day too. And in my head, I was like, I'm going to eat this whole burger, all these fries, because this is the last time I'm going to do it, like, for who knows how long. It's never the last time. She felt fine the rest of the day. I was sick as crap. Who knew leftover fries were the answer to life? Like, who knew?
Yeah.
But yeah, Rachel, that's an issue. The not keeping snacks in your house is a clear sign that you don't trust yourself. And this is where you need to start rebuilding the trust. And if it has to start with, instead of getting like the big bag of snack, get the individual bags, and know, because knowing what a portion is also crucial. So one of the things I did was I bought stuff in individual packets. So it's not like you're digging in a whole bag. And I never took like the big bag. I would portion it out, put it away, call it a day. And these are the bags that call you at night. But when you have the individual bag and you actually have to open it and sit with it, it feels like you're eating the entire thing, because you are. So there's sort of like an evolution of the process and tools that you can use along the way to enable you to have a snack in your house and not like snorkel in it.
Oh, I love that. That's really helped me with my food mindset,
like if you can't, because if you can't have snacks in your house, how are you going to live with somebody? I went through this. Like, I lived with somebody who was a big fan of snacks. Turns out I like snacks better than I liked him, but and he, the way he would eat, and at this point I was a trainer, I was on a diet, I was very much restricting myself, and I was mad because he was also being a dick about it, like the way he was eating the snacks. And I found myself, because I would do the grocery shopping, buying shit I didn't like. And, you know, I would be asleep, he would be in bed eating something crunchy. And I'll never forget the night that he woke me and he was like, I'm on to you. And I just had to laugh, because I had put all his snacks in an area, and one of them was banana bread. I don't ever want to be in a room with a banana, so there was no risk. And the other one was mini marshmallows, because the mini marshmallows, not only was the snack quiet, the bag was quiet. I have no interest in the marshmallows. Banana bread can fuck all the way right off. And that's how I navigated that for myself, because I wasn't in a place where I was okay with it being there. I am now. Like, I can have snacks now, and it still catches me off guard. Like, you know, I really fucking did it. Like, I did it.
Absolutely. Do you find this correlates into romantic relationships as well?
I don't know that I know exactly what you mean on that one. Does it correlate to dating? I think with dating it's a little bit different. You know, I think, yeah, oh, for sure. For sure. Please. Yeah. You know it's bad for you. You still do it, and you hope that it's going to be different, or you thought it was going to be one way and then you're waiting for it to be that way. And it's looking at the little red flags along the way and making decisions along the way in dating. Yeah, like this is one of the things. Like, there's one person that is, I don't want to say he's in my life, but he's like on the perimeter of my life, and there's nothing good about him being there. And I keep him there, and I know why I keep him there, and I know what the reason is. Is it good for me? No. I know it's not good for me, but I am also not ready yet to Candace hates him. I am also not ready yet to completely put it aside, because there's also something that I'm still getting from it that is right now good for me. So I am taking more from it now, even though I know it's ultimately not good for me. I am taking what's good for me while being very clear-eyed about it. I got to see the top of this question. Oh, someone attends. So the first thing is, do you know why you're hiding and censoring yourself? And because this is one of the things I do with a lot of my clients, and this is one of the things I do with myself. I'm actually an NLP practitioner also, and I use a lot of timeline work in my life, with my clients, and I sort of call it like a timeline, NLP fusion, because there's a reason you're hiding. There's a reason you're censoring. There's a root cause to that. And I've gotten really good at, if I'm triggered in a moment, almost being able to time travel to why this fucking thing is bothering me, know where it came from, zhuzh it up there, and then bring it back now, so I don't have to keep carrying it for myself. So I think the real thing would be is figure out why you're hiding and why you're censoring yourself and what exactly it is that you're afraid of, because fear is really the, you know, it's the, you're allowed to be afraid, you know, but the only thing that's going to keep you moving forward is if you walk with the fear. You don't let it keep you stuck. Like, you got to grab it by the hand and be like, all right, we're in this together, but you gotta keep going, and being able to hear your own truth in the noise. This is one where, for me especially, this is another thing that came up for me that I haven't even shared publicly yet, but you need to be so connected to yourself that you feel your truth in your body. Like, I do spend a lot of time alone, and I am not afraid of quiet. Like, I specifically, like, I will do a long drive. I will be in my house with no TV, no music, no nothing, because I don't want anybody else's thoughts, words, sounds disrupting my own thought. So the ability to connect to your own thoughts, no matter where they go, is crucial for that. And one of the reasons, and I'm going to share this with you, this is the first I'm even speaking on this publicly, but I feel like this is the place to do it. I shared it with Candace the other day, literally for the first time on Monday, I think, that I really believe being in a narcissistic relationship is why I was able to navigate cancer. And it is because I lived in a relationship where, because I was being gaslit, I knew what it felt like when I was being gaslit. And I knew I was in a narcissistic relationship. Like, this is when I was in my savior complex, like 20 years ago. And when you're being gaslit, you have to cling to the truth for your own sanity. And I used to go to a place where I clung to my truth, where I would feel it in my body, I would be grounded, and I knew. And then there would be the occasions where it would be happening and I felt chaotic in my body. And this was the sign that I knew, okay, Shira, you gotta ground yourself in your truth. You know exactly how it feels. So fast forward 8 million years, and I'm in the doctor's office, and the minute they tell me I have single-digit year life expectancy, my body responded as if I was being gaslit. And I knew in that moment that that wasn't true for me, because I felt it with every fiber of my being. So you have to speak the language of your body, because it's never going to lie to you. And the more grounded and connected you are in your body, the more space your truth has to rise, even when nobody else believes it, even when it sounds delusional. Like, going through cancer this last time, and I'm still recovering. I'm not even a year clear yet right now. And going through this last time, I had people saying, well, let's see what the doctors say, or this is what they're recommending. And I had to really stop, like, family members, listen, I don't give a fuck what the doctors say, what they're going to tell me, what anything is. You're not asking me the right question. You're not asking me what I think about what they said, what I think about what they're telling me, how I feel about any of it. And it wasn't from a place of, I'm going to lose the word. I still have brain fog. It wasn't from a place of denial. It was from a place of fucking knowing and navigating it, where I called the shots. I told them how we were going to do things. I told them what was acceptable, what wasn't, right down to the most minute details. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Even if it was little, I'm not getting on the scale when I get here in the morning. I'm not wearing the mask. I'm not doing the whatever. that's a no. This is how we're going to do it. And remember that in every situation in your life, you're driving the bus. You know, people hand their power over to the doctors, to their boss, to their family, to a chocolate croissant. The second you do that, like, you know, I don't know how long we have, but I told God, the universe, whoever it is that you believe in, to fuck off. And I had this defining moment when, you know, look, it doesn't matter how much I knew that I wasn't going to die. They told me I was going to die. Like, that is a big thing for anybody to hear and hold. And I had a moment, I was home alone, and I broke down bawling. Like, I was on my hands and my knees in my living room, sobbing, begging for my life. Like, begging. I don't beg for shit. Begging for my life. It lasted maybe 15, 20 seconds. And all of a sudden, this feeling came over me. And I'm still on the floor. And I stopped crying. And I said, you know what? No. I was like, I am not going to fucking beg you for shit. This is how it's going to be. I am going to live, you know, minimum 25 more healthy years. I'm not even going to get a fucking paper cut. I'm going to find the love of my life. He's going to be hot, tattooed, New York accent, all the things I wanted. My business is going to blow up with the most incredible clients. Fucking money is going to rain on me. I just threw in whatever the hell I wanted. And I said, and I have nothing left to fucking prove to you or to anybody. So leave me alone and do your fucking job. And in that moment, I knew I was going to be okay. In that moment, I decided, you know what? The universe is here to fucking be my backup dancer. Like, I got this. And I got up off the floor and I knew it was going to be okay. Now I just had to walk the walk.
So, so powerful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Lovely. Can you leave us with a little final tip or a final practice for when we are in those moments of either throwing ourselves on the floor and bawling, or when we're in self-doubt and we need to remember who we are and what we desire and deserve?
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you something that I did unknowingly from the time I was in middle school. I used to get ready in the morning, and, you know, this is back in the day of like rollerball lip gloss in 5th grade. And I would, you know, you do your hair, you put your makeup on or whatever. And I would just take a minute and I would just look myself in the eye and I would think, I'm going to remember today. Like, I was like, I'm going to remember today. I'm going to remember my face today. I'm going to remember today. And I don't remember a lot of the days, but I remember that practice. And I think anytime you're sort of feeling doubt about yourself, just take that moment to like reconnect to yourself, look yourself in the face, and know no matter what, you can't do you wrong. So you might as well just fucking go for it.
I love that. I got goosebumps when you said that, because you can't do you wrong.
I just want to thank you so much. Like, I have loved every second of this except for like trying to sign on. But I have to laugh because if it would have run smoothly, like, that's not how I work. And just think maybe we should all get together and come up with like a Google hearing eye dog or something like that, and we can make $1 million. But it has been my pleasure to be here with you ladies, and I am so excited to hear this for real when it's, finished, because I feel like it was really fun.
Absolutely. And we figure these things out.
Everybody, so I really am mostly on Facebook under Shira Evet. Apparently I couldn't even get my name in there, but that's what it is. So it's, if Candace wants to type it in there, it's Shira Evet. And same thing on Instagram. And I look forward to connecting with all of you more. And I have some really fun Black Friday things coming up, and something I'm going to spring on Candace also that she doesn't know about. So, you know what? I'm going to spring it on her right now. I would love to offer you ladies, if anybody from this group purchases any of my Black Friday offers, they can just put in the code oh, well, fuck it. And yeah, fuck it's going to be the code. And I am happy to gift you a 30-minute one-on-one Voxer with me. So I'm trying to read and talk.
Don't worry.
Yep. Anybody in this group, if you purchase something from my Black Friday offer, code fuck it, you get 30 minutes with me and Voxer, which is always that I understand, which is always which is always a hoot.
Yes, I can only imagine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Candice, as well, for being a superhero and our translator in the middle. And thank you to my lovely ladies. I will speak to you all very, very soon. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. And I'll catch up with you all soon. Mwah! Lots of love.